Hey, welcome back. I'm Allie, and today I'm going to be doing another one of my 3 books by, and today it is Riley Sager. So I have been reading Riley Sager for about a year now, but by saying that, I've only read 1 book by Riley Sager. Well, technically 2. I read The Final Girls last fall, and automatically was just like, okay, Riley Sager is going to be a author for me. So today I'm going to take you down another adventure of reading 3 books by the same author, and I'm going to be diving a little bit more into books by Riley Sager, and I really went there with my library holds, you guys. I have quite a few here. I don't know how many of these I'm going to get to. I am going to be just picking out some. Technically picking out 1 because I have read another one as well. But yeah, this series I read 3 of the books just to kind of explore a little bit more what that author has put out, and also kind of see which ones are my favorite, which ones I don't like as much, and just to get me more acquainted with that author's work.
Sorry about that text you got, I didn't ever mean to send it. So you got me in my feelings, also fuck autocorrect, and I've been doing fine except the stabbing pain up in my chest.
One was The Final Girls, and this book came out quite a few years ago. I'm actually gonna Goodreads it really quick. Correcting myself here, it's actually just Final Girls. Critique that I do have on this is that I love the whole vibe of Final Girls and what a final girl is, but there's so many books, so I get so confused with the titles. But this one follows Quincy, who is now a final girl. 10 years ago, as a college student, she was on a vacation with 5 of her friends. She came back as a final girl. The massacre that took place was like an actual horror movie. After experiencing this, she is now part of a club she never wanted to be included in, and that is Final Girls. She has a couple other friends now that are kind of like internet friends that she is talking to. Lisa and Sam, who have both went through the same type of events that have led them to being final girls as well. And though they have never met in person, they have kept in contact as support to each other. Quincy finds herself doing much better in life, although she still has those flashbacks to Pine Cottage where everything went down. She has her partner Jeff, she has a baking blog that she's very dedicated to, a beautiful apartment in town, and her friend Coop. Until Lisa, her other final girl friend, is found dead. Next thing she knows, Sam is at Quincy's doorstep, meeting for the first time face to face to kind of stick together through this really hard time, because they know how hard it is and what Lisa had been going through. From there, everything kind of just spirals, and that is the first thing I will say about Riley Sager's work, is that I picked this book to read on a whim for a day in the life vlog, and it really took me there because I kept trying to like guess ahead, and while some of the reveals I seen a mile away, right after those reveals another one would hit me and just be mind-blowing and just like not what I was expecting, left field. Like, it was a fun ride, and I did end up giving this one 4 stars. I definitely had critiques when it comes to the character development, how I felt about certain people in the story, or the way the story did unravel. But overall, it was such a fun ride getting there. I really enjoyed it and loved all of the little flashback moments we had that almost felt like I was watching a like 90s horror movie, 80s, 90s horror movie, and definitely gave me almost like Camp Crystal Lake vibes of being in the Pine Cottage and having all these young kids together when it all went down. And as a first book, it definitely has me wanting to pick up more Riley Sager. Which leads me to the second book that I've read by Riley Sager.
Now you're gone again. I'll take all your issues, you can have my friends.
The second book I read by Riley Sager is The Only One Left. And I'm gonna kind of sound like a little bit of a broken record here because I just actually filmed my makeup look and my little talking section for this book for a past 5 books, 5 looks. And if you guys have seen that, you can skip this part if you want. But if you haven't and you're just here for the Riley Sager content, then you can keep on watching. But I described this book as a kind of like a spin on the Lizzie Borden. This is about a caregiver who goes to work for a lady that's kind of known around the city or town as a legend, kind of. She has like a dark legend behind her name. Kit, this caregiver, has kind of had a roughy patch in life. She's been suspended from work, and now that she's getting back into it and her life is kind of starting to feel normal again, she's given the job that like nobody else wants. And so she goes out to the Cliffs, which is like the bougiest neighborhood around that has all these huge mansions, but they are overlooking a cliff. And there is this legend about Lenora Hope, the elderly woman that she will be taking care of. And I will read it once again, but at 17, Lenora Hope hung her sister with a rope, stabbed her father with a knife, took her mother's happy life. It wasn't me, Lenora said, but she's the only one not dead. So Kit is working for this elderly lady who she finds out really quick is paralyzed. I think the only thing she can move is her left hand, and doing everything for her. She is a live-in caretaker, and she finds out really quick that like everybody else is too. So there's somebody who works on the landscaping, there's a woman that runs the house, there's a house, the person that like a maid almost, and there's like a cook. So there's a lot going on already within the home. And now Kit is also going to be living there, but her job is to just make sure that Lenora is getting her medication, is being fed, changed, bathed, all that kind of stuff, and staying on her routine and her schedule. And at the same time, she's trying to also like be like figure out like, is this Lenora Hope legend like true? Like, did this all happen? Did Lenora do it? And so it's very much like the Lizzie Borden type of story, but it's also kind of like Clue, trying to figure out everything that happened in a setting and one building, and definitely gave me a lot of different vibes. I think in that just a minute ago I mentioned Aunt Josephine from Series of Unfortunate Events. Her house kind of over a cliff. It gave me that type of vibe, and it's very dark and eerie. If you've seen that Series of Unfortunate Events with Jim Carrey and Meryl Streep. But yeah, I feel like Riley Sager does such a good job at just thrillers that kind of keep you on the edge of your seat. There's so many twists and turns, and you can see some coming from like a mile away, but I think that's the beauty of his twists, is that he'll give you those ones, but once you come up on that twist, he'll throw in another one to blindside you, and you'll be like, oh, like mind blown. I lost count of how many twists there was in this. It was a lot. And I also have mentioned that this is an amazing book for a book club or to buddy read, because there's so much going on that it's just would be so much fun to read along with somebody else and discuss and be able to spoil everything and, you know, speak your thoughts on it, because it can be wild at times. I really like the writing style. I felt like it was a breeze to get through, and his books are just very adventurous and fun, and definitely a favorite of mine for this year and like this summer. Definitely a summer favorite for sure. It was exactly what I needed. I did give this one 5 stars.
Call me from a nose, please. I don't think about you, but it's all sleep. Done again. I'll take
on to book 3. I've left you guys for so long. I apologize, and I'm gonna have to just throw up the book here because I do not physically own this book. I actually read this, I think, in December, and while going through different like video clips and stuff that I had, I realized that I never even pieced this together. I never even talked about the 3rd book, which was Survive the Night. This is about a girl, Charlie, who needs a drive, pretty much. She needs somebody to drive her from point A to point B, but it's a long ways. This is definitely a close quarters thriller, like they're in this car for almost this entire book. Behind the wheel is Josh Baxter, and he is a stranger to Charlie. he met her at the college and they decided to ride together. They're in the car, they're sharing stories with each other, they're trying to avoid any awkwardness or the elephant in the room, which is the current campus serial killer that has been killing people around the college. Charlie starts noticing some changes in Josh's stories. Some things just aren't adding up. And instead of what was supposed to be just a nice little carpool, it turns into her trying to figure out a plan to escape this ride. She starts to suspect Josh to be this killer and is very worried on how she's going to get out of the situation because she thinks he's starting to pick up that she's putting the pieces together. Riley Sager really did it again with the thriller aspect. It is a fast-paced thriller. I just flew right through this one, and I actually really enjoyed it for the most part. I can't say I was too attached to any characters. Didn't have a great time with the characters, and I felt like there was a lot of red flags that Charlie just kind of looked right through. There was definitely a bunch of predictability with this one as well. But I gave it 3 stars because I enjoyed the ride throughout. It's not my favorite from Riley Sager. It's probably not even in my top favorites from him. But I enjoyed the thriller, the suspense, and I was literally on the edge of my seat just wondering what was going to happen in this car in these like close quarter moments. Between the 3, I'm landing at the only one left is hands down my favorite Riley Sager. I honestly think I like Final Girls more than I liked Survive the Night. So I think it's in that order. And I'm also just realizing that I read Final Girls almost 2 years ago. I read The Only One Left last summer and Survive the Night in December. So I'm really, really behind on this. But I still wanted to share because Riley Sager is still up there on my list of favorite thriller writers. I will continue to read from him, and I cannot wait for his new one coming out this summer, Middle of the Night. And I also really want to pick up some more of his books because I know there's some more out there that he's written that I'm sure I would really love. But like always, let me know down below what is your favorite book by Riley Sager. And if there's an author that you would like me to explore this little reading 3 books by. It may be over a course of 2 years that I get to it, but it is what it is. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.
Keep up in my pace, stay awake, it's what they all say.